What if you have a map of your life? A map that would not just tell you about what kind of a person you are, your personality, but also how your life is going to turn out, what events you're going to experience, and when. And I'm here to tell you that you do have a map of your life. Hello PDG Journeyer. I'm Nadira Vanikasuriya, founder of Personal Development Gateway. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about the map of your life. And first, I will let you know what is astrology, the different types of astrology. And then afterwards, I will let you know what is the most accurate astrology, because there are different astrology systems. So I will tell you which astrology system you can use to predict your future, to look at your life. Astrology in Sri Lanka or in Sinhala, it's called Jyotish. And what does it mean? Let's break down this word. Jyoti means light, hence Jyotish is the science of light. Hence we can shine this light into the darkness of life. When I say darkness of light, it just means ignorance. Darkness refers to the not knowing of your life. And hence it can give you insights about your life, and you can get to know your life through Jyotish, through astrology. That's astrology. And astrology uses the help of astronomy. Astronomy is the study of celestial objects, of planets, of the stars. We can use the planets and the stars as we are looking at astrology. Now, how can we use astrology as a map to your life? Your birth takes place at a specific date, at a specific time, at a specific location. So using your date of birth, your time of birth, and your place of birth, we can create your horoscope. Your horoscope is your birth chart, and we can use your horoscope, we can use your birth chart as a map of your life. Now that you know about astrology and how it uses astronomy and how we can use it to create your map of life, let's talk about the different types of astrology. And there's different types of astrology. There's Chinese astrology, there's Western astrology, there's Vedic astrology, which is similar to what we use in Sri Lanka, so the Sri Lankan astrology. And so there's different types of astrology: Eastern astrology, Western astrology. In Chinese astrology, they assign a zodiac to one whole year. That means whatever year that you're born in, there is a zodiac sign assigned to that year. And this changes as the year changes, the zodiac sign changes. So who's born in the year 2000 will have the same zodiac sign. But we know that we are all different. Just because we are born on the same year, we're not going to be the same. We're all different. Now let's talk about the other two widely used systems of astrology, Western astrology, also called tropical astrology, and Vedic or Sri Lankan or Sidereal astrology, also called Jyotish. Western astrology uses a solar-based system. That means which sign is your sun in. And when it comes to Sri Lankan astrology or Vedic astrology, uses a lunar-based system, as well as it looks at your ascendant as well. Luna means the moon. Which sign is your moon in? Now, the next question then becomes, okay, so is the sign that your sun is in different in Western astrology, and is it different in Sri Lankan astrology? And is your moon in a different sign in Western astrology, and is it different in Sri Lankan or Vedic astrology? In fact, they can be different, but I'm here to say that that cannot be the case, because you're born at one particular time. You have one date of birth, you have one time of birth, and one location of birth. Hence, your planets should be placed in only one sign. Because at the moment of your birth, your planets can only be in one sign. It cannot be in two signs. So why is it different? Because if you enter your birth details into a Western astrology app, you're gonna get different planet placements compared to when you apply your birth details into a Vedic astrology system. And that is what we're going to talk about, and I'm going to tell you why they are different and what you can follow from today onwards. Western astrology takes into account that the stars are static or stationary, that the stars don't move. It takes the stars to be fixed. So you have your stars around. So you have your Earth, and then you have your stars around. That's the constellation, the zodiac is around it. And Western astrology takes that these stars, they don't move. However, I'm here to tell you that everything in this world moves. They change. This is called the precession of the equinox. Precession means, you can simply take that precession means movement, and equinox refers to the celestial objects, the planets, the stars, the constellations, groups of stars. So there is movement of stars, which Vedic astrology or Sri Lankan astrology takes into account. However, we are not able to see the movement of the stars, especially when it comes to one lifetime of a person. We cannot really see these stars moving because they move really slowly. Hence, Western astrology takes into account that the starting point of the zodiac to always be Aries, because if the stars are fixed, if they are not moving, then the starting point always has to be the same, right? So since the beginning, Aries was always taken as the starting point, and this is also, the starting point is also called the Astrological Age. However, like I mentioned, the stars are moving, and 2000 years ago, the starting point was Aries. So at that point, Western astrology and Sri Lankan astrology would have aligned. And due to the precession of the equinox, the starting reference point changes. It's not the same. it's not always going to be Aries. And this change or the shift happens backwards, not forward. That means the next reference point or the next starting reference point after Aries is not going to be Taurus, but it's going to be Pisces. Now we're going to get into a little mathematics, and it's going to be easy. When we take the zodiac from Aries to Pisces, we have Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. We have 12 signs of the zodiac, and when we take a full circle, which is 360 degrees, and when we place the zodiac in this circle of 360 degrees and divide it equally, we get 30 degrees, meaning each sign of the zodiac is assigned 30 degrees. And with the precession of the equinox, the stars remain in one sign for 30 degrees. And I'm going to tell you that for the stars to move and for the precession of the equinox for it to shift, and for this starting reference point for it to shift through 1 degree of a sign, it takes 72 years. That hence, for it to move through one sign, it's going to take, because one sign is assigned 30 degrees, hence for it to move through one sign, it's going to take 72 years multiplied by 30 degrees, which is 2,160 years. It takes 2,160 years for the starting position or the reference point to change the astrological age. It takes this amount of years for the stars, for the precession of equinox, for it to shift through one sign. We said that there are 12 zodiac signs. Hence, for it to go through all of the zodiac signs, we're going to have to multiply 2,160 by 12, which is 25,920 years. It takes 25,920 years for it to move through a full rotation through all signs of the zodiac. Hence, you can see why the stars can appear as fixed stars, because we're not going to be living 25,920 years. Hence, you can see that this movement is very slow and not easily detectable in a lifetime. However, everything changes, everything is moving, nothing is static, no stationary. And as a result, the starting point or the starting reference point of the zodiac too shifts, but it takes 2,160 years as for the starting reference point to change signs. 2,000 years ago, the starting reference point was Aries. And at that time, both Western astrology and Vedic astrology or Sri Lankan astrology aligned. The starting reference point was the same. However, Western astrology continued to use the starting reference point as Aries. Hence, there's no change in the starting reference point. But we now saw that the starting reference point changes, which Sri Lankan astrology and Vedic astrology took into account. Hence, right now, the age that we are living in, it has shifted backwards by one sign. What is after Aries? Pisces. We are living in the age of Pisces, and the starting reference point right now is Pisces. I slightly mentioned about astrological year when I referred to the starting reference point. And now I'm going to tell you that this is also the revolution of humanity. And you can use this too as evidence to see that the starting reference point of the zodiac changes. 2000 years ago, the starting reference point when it was Aries, it was the age of Aries. And during this time, now Aries is a sign that is ruled by Mars, and Mars is the planet of passion. It's also the planet of war. So this was a time where there was a lot of passion, but also war, and it can be also called the military age. And this was the time where there was the ancient cultures of Egyptian, there was Greek, Trojans, and also there was in India there was Rama, and in Sri Lanka there was Ravana. And you can see how the energy of these people align with the sign Aries. And I have a friend who is Aries in the Sri Lankan system of astrology. His ascendant is Aries, and I know that he is very fast. He is very passionate. He gets things done. He has a sharp mind. And so the people during that time, 2000 years ago, that was their nature, that was their energy. So that, the past, that was one kind of civilization during the age of Aries. And then when it moved into the next sign as the starting reference point, which is age of Pisces, there was a revolution in humanity. Pisces, which is ruled by the planet of Jupiter, is about wisdom, spirituality, the truth, the reality, and this revolution in humanity also, this marks the birth of religions. And Pisces, having the sign of the fish, you can see right after this change there were carvings of fish. And even Christianity, you can see in churches there is this sign of the fish. Right now we are living in this age. Now you might be wondering what's next. After Pisces and after 2000 years, the starting reference point is going to shift into the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is all about teachings, your life lessons, your karmas and vipakas, the actions that you take and the results that you get as a result of your actions. And so it has a relationship to your karmas. And when we look at Aquarius as a sign, you can see it's about knowing. It's mental in nature because Aquarius is an air sign and it's mental, and hence it's a sign of knowing. But also it's about technology, it's about new beginnings, inventions coming up, and we can actually see that slowly happening because talking about technology, we have robots, we have AI, and I think you can see where it's going. Because right now we are trying to get the help of robots, of AI, which is actually replacing the human mind. So in my school, I went to a private international school, hence I did the London O-levels and A-levels, and we could use the calculator in mathematics. Not in all the papers, but there was a paper I remember where we could use the calculators. And what happened, and I realized that I am becoming dependent on the calculator and I'm using less of my mind as I'm solving mathematics. However, when I look at the local system of education in my country, in Sri Lanka, I see that no, they were not allowed to use calculators and they were better able to solve mathematics using their mind. So you see how calculators too are these devices that is making us depend on it, and hence we will be using less of our mind. And now there's AI, and people can use AI for anything that they are creating, even to make videos like this. With the AI technology, I know that now you can get yourself to create a script, and you can also get yourself to talk by not looking at the camera like I am right now, but by you can be looking at your laptop screen and reading a script, and you can actually use AI to fix it afterwards with editing to make it look like you're looking at the webcam. And what does this mean? That now we're going to be dependent on a script. We're not going to be living in this present moment and allowing the thoughts to come freely and naturally through you. Which is why I choose not to use the AI technology and the current technology in my videos. I would rather prefer to just stay present in the moment and let everything just flow through me, and I can be looking at you as I am talking. Hence, I do want to encourage you to not depend on machinery, to not depend on robotics, on AI, because that can really get you to a place where you are using less of your mind, and this can make you ignorant, this can make you not responsible. Hence, I really do encourage you to try to do things by yourself. And you see, in the earlier days, you don't have to go really backwards into the past, but just by looking at your parents or your grandparents' generations, which was still, we are in the age of Pisces, you can see that they were hard working. They did not depend on machinery, even to wash clothes. There was no washing machine. We used our hands, and this actually helped them. They didn't have to specifically schedule time to do exercises. They would get their exercise while they're living life, while they're doing the day-to-day tasks. They would be getting exercise, and which is why we also at this point in time we see an increase. This is one reason, not the only one, but this is one reason why we see an increase in diseases in our physical bodies, in our physical health. And I encourage you to be active, to use your physical body, and not depend on machinery entirely. Let's come back into the present moment, from the future of the the Aquarius, into the present moment, into the age of the Pisces, but also into the present moment of the topic that we were discussing, which is about astrology and the different systems of astrology, and I'm here to show you which astrology is the most accurate. By now, you would already know which system of astrology to use. You know by now that Western astrology uses the stars as fixed. However, Sri Lankan astrology or Vedic astrology or the Indian astrology, they take into account the movement of the stars. And so it's not really about two different systems. It's actually about which one is most accurate, because at the time of our birth, based on our birthday, birth time, and the birthplace, we can form our birth chart, the horoscope, and we get our planet placements in the signs, right? Now, if we take the Western astrology chart and the Vedic astrology chart, we see that the planet placements are different. And this doesn't really mean that it's two systems. It's a matter of the accuracy. Which one is accurate? Because like I previously mentioned, we are born at one time, and so the planets are at one time, and the planets are at one position. Hence, the system of astrology that is used in Sri Lanka and in India, also called the Sidereal astrology or Vedic astrology, is the accurate system of astrology. And additionally, I'd like to share that at this point in time, because we are in the age of Pisces, if you look at the two types of charts, your Western chart and your Vedic chart, you will see that the planet placements in your Vedic chart, the planet placements in the signs, these signs are one sign behind, meaning the planets are one sign behind compared to your Western astrology chart, your Western horoscope. Hence, if your sun is in Gemini according to Western astrology, it means that your sun in Vedic astrology will be one sign behind, meaning it will be in the sign before Gemini, and the sign before Gemini is Taurus. However, I also hear you if you are telling me, but I resonate so much with my astrology sign. I have a friend who is a Gemini sun in his Western astrology chart, and I would agree that he has that Gemini energy. However, the reason why he has that Gemini energy, and he has a lot of it, the reason he has that is because one of his major positions according to the Vedic astrology is in Gemini, his main sign. That means his lagna, also called your ascendant or your rising. His ascendant or his rising, also called his lagna, is Gemini, which is why he has that Gemini energy. It's not because his sun is in Gemini. In fact, his sun is not in Gemini. It's in Taurus. However, it's also possible that you can have the same planet in the same sign in both Western and Vedic system of astrology, provided that your Western astrology, the planet is at the very end of a sign, which is the case for me. So one of my planets has the same sign in both Western and Vedic astrology, because my sun sign is at the cusp. That means it's just about to transition into the next sign, but it hasn't. And then in Vedic astrology, because you move backwards and it's still going to fall in the same sign. Hence, that is another possibility. If in your Western chart your planet is nearing ending or is at an extreme level, or that it's about to transition to another sign. And now with this too, you can see now why in Vedic it's nearly one sign behind, because Western astrology, even in this current day and age, uses the starting reference point as Aries. However, Vedic astrology uses the fact that the starting reference point has now shifted one sign back, and now it's in Pisces. So you can see now why it's one sign behind in your horoscope. And after another 2000 years into the future, you will notice that there is a difference of 2 signs behind when you look at your Vedic astrology chart compared to your Western astrology chart. Furthermore, I want to share with you another way that you yourself can see how the starting reference point has changed. You can download a sky map app into your phone. A sky map shows you where the planets are, in which direction the planets are, and in which star sign they are in reference to where you are. So you're looking at it being on Earth. So by being on Earth, once you download this app, take your phone and move its position and look at it. You can move it to the side, you can move it down, you can also move it up. And whenever you move your phone, you can see that it's directing you, it's showing you the placements of the stars, the planets in reference to you, in reference to the Earth. And recently, I noticed how those who are following the Western astrology stated that Pluto has now transitioned from Capricorn to Aquarius. So according to Western astrology, Pluto is now in Aquarius. However, take a look at your sky map and you will see that Pluto is still in Capricorn, the sign that is before Aquarius. I hope and I know that you now have the necessary knowledge for you to decide which astrology you can use to look at your life, to generate your map of life. And yes, Vedic astrology, the system of astrology that is used in India, in Sri Lanka, is accurate and it tells you everything related to your life. And it is the map of your life. You can use it to look at what kind of a person are you, what kind of energy do you have, and also look at what events could happen and at which dates. It's very accurate. With that, you can look forward to the future videos from Personal Development Gateway related to astrology, and I will be using the Vedic system of astrology. Hence, I will be sharing with you every month. I will be sharing with you about you, and I will share all of the 12 zodiac signs every month. So for you to know, for you to resonate on what I'm sharing with you, you will have to know your ascendant, also called the rising sign, also known as your Lagna, and you will also have to know where your moon is in, which sign is your moon in. According to Vedic astrology, you can use a Vedic astrology chart generator, and you can find out your ascendant sign and your moon sign, or the moon, also called the lunar sign, and you can listen to the future videos that I bring, because I'm going to tell you about you every month for all of the Lagnas and the moon signs. I'm Nadira Vanika Surya, founder of Personal Development Gateway. I wish you a delightful day filled with life, personal development, love, peace, freedom, and joy.